Greeting everybody, it's Emily from Pages and Ink, and today I will be doing my August wrap-up and my September TBR. So in the month of August, I managed to read, I believe, 11 books, 11 or 12. But here is the first part of it, which is pretty much, I reread the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd, which was a great thing for me to do because lately I've been wanting some familiar reads because I've been going through some things, and it's been awesome to reread these things and kind of go back to a more simpler time in my brain. This is the second half, and the thing in the middle here is my Nook that I finally got back. And on my Nook I read two things, Eleanor and Park and The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace, who is Lady Book Mad on Tumblr, and she is fantastic, and I really enjoyed her poetry collection, which is The Princess Saves Herself in This One, and I'm really excited and kind of scared for what she puts out next because so far she's the only person that's made me cry this year. So yeah, anyway, so let's see, 1, 2 ebooks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I read 11 this month. And a couple of these I have book talks for. And by a couple, I mean The Savage Song. I swear I did another one at some point, but I don't think I did. But The Savage Song I definitely have one for. And I'll try to have one up for P.S. I Love You, or I Like You, because this book was awesome and super cute. And I do have a review on my Tumblr and on my Goodreads if you want to check that out while I get that up. I don't think I'm going to record it today, but I might. But it's really cute and I do definitely recommend it. I'm not one for fluffy reads, and this is definitely a fluffy read that I enjoyed. I almost poked myself in the eye. Don't do that. But yeah, so I definitely recommend this if you like fluffy romance reads, which is, I know when I did my unboxing I was like, I'm gonna read it because I probably need it, and I did, and it kind of made me happy for a little bit, and it was fun, and it's ironic because I'm taking chemistry this semester, and I actually wrote down the first couple lines of lyrics from All Time Low's Love Like War, which is Make a Wish on Our Sorry Little Hearts. And I want to see if something will happen. I kind of don't think it will because we share a room with organic chemistry, the organic chemistry class, and they play around with some dangerous things, so they're probably cleaning the tables all the time, and it's just not gonna turn out well. So maybe we'll do it in the classroom and see if that works, but I doubt anything's gonna come out of it. But it's still a really cute book, and I'm moving on now. What I'm currently reading is the last book in the Darkest Powers series by Kelly Armstrong, which is an old favorite of mine that I read in high school and I think middle school, but I'm pretty sure it was just high school. And I really, really enjoyed them. And I've tried reading one of her other series that I can't think of the name right now. And I didn't enjoy it as much. I also have the first book in a separate, like, that's one series, this is another, then there's a third one. She's got more than that, but these are the ones that I've read. I have the first book in that one, I believe it's The Gathering, and I read it, and it's still not as good as this one. So I don't know if she's just hit and miss, or if there's just something about these books that I just really enjoyed. But I'm on the last book, The Reckoning of it. If you are into paranormal, supernatural fiction that does not have a very strong romantic subplot, it's kind of in there, but it's not there's not a big emphasis on it, if that makes any sense. It kind of pops up and then doesn't matter and then trickles off. So yeah. If you like books about teens with powers, obviously, because that's like my forte apparently. Teens with powers, the main character is a necromancer, which is not something you see very often in YA. It's usually vampires or werewolves or witches. So it's kind of different, although there are vampires and witches and wizards in the book. And werewolves. I say vampires, werewolves, witches, and wizards, not vampires. And it's good. I love this series. I definitely recommend it. Although I don't know how many of you guys will actually like it, because a lot of it is very high school. So if you're in high school, you might enjoy it more. I do have a book talk for the Savage Song up, so I won't talk very much about it. I already talked about P.S. I Like You. This book series I read in middle school and in high school, and it's kind of my Harry Potter, because I kind of not grew up with it, but it was my favorite in middle school and high school, and it's still kind of a favorite now. And it's about a young teenage vampire who kind of tries to hide a secret from his small town, and there are the politics of like their vampire world called Elysia, that's constantly getting in his face and not trying to expose him. There is one character that is constantly trying to expose him, but he's like hitting roadblocks, all just trying to kind of be him and learn what it's like to be a vampire. And he's not even a full vampire, he's a half vampire. But anyway, that kind of makes it sound really stupid, but it's really good. I really like it. There's something else I wanted to say about it, and I can't remember what it was for the life of me. Besides the fact that it's one of my favorite things, there's another thing. Oh well, if you like vampires, check it out. Alright, then the last two books, like I said, were Princess Saves Herself in this one, and Eleanor and Park. Now, Eleanor and Park I do not have a book talk up for, and I'm not sure I'm going to have one, because even still I'm not sure how I feel about Eleanor and Park, and I think because in my brain I'm comparing it to P.S. I Like You, because Eleanor and Park is still kind of a romancy novel, but it's a very different dynamic. While P.S. I Like You is very fluffy, Eleanor and Park is kind of on a darker side. They consider them star-crossed lovers, but I don't fully agree with that term, because to me star-crossed lovers are two people who shouldn't be together, but are, and they're adorable together. And the only person that doesn't want them together primarily is her stepfather. That's it. Everybody else is like, sure. Okay. But I do like a couple things about it. I like the fact that Eleanor is not the skinny, pretty, popular girl that a lot of books have. And maybe even not the popular, but she's still like pretty, or she's just slightly average. Like they even, a lot of times, even Park kind of sees her as weird, but he also finds her weirdness beautiful. There are a couple things that do bother me beyond the star-crossed lover thing. And that is the concept of insta-love, not insta-love, because it did grow, it's not insta-love. It's forever love, I guess is the best way of putting it. I believe it's the first relationship, because I know he had been with people before, but I don't think it was like relationship. I think it was just kind of like, let's be dating, but there's not really anything there. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But like, Eleanor and Park I think are sophomores in high school, and they're already like, let's run away together. Or not run away together, they're like, the best way I can think of to explain their thoughts toward the end of the book is almost let's run away and get married, but not quite there. They're just very, we're going to be together forever, and I don't think I could be with anybody else. And I'm like, I'm 21, and I just got out of a relationship, and I'm realistic enough to know that I will find somebody else. You know, even in high school, even with my first high school boyfriend, I wasn't like, we're gonna get married. It was more of, we're probably going to break up in the future, and if we get back together, then that would be awesome, and then we can get married. Or, you know, break up. But my point was, I knew I was going to be dating other people, and Eleanor and Park are just like, this is it for us, we're done, we found them. And it's like, that's not quite how it works. I mean, even if you think you found that person, you still need to date other people so you know that they're that person, and you're not just settling for the first person that makes googly eyes at you. And then I've talked a bit about The Princess Saves Herself in this one, which is a very personal poetry book by Amanda Lovelace. And on Goodreads, there are quite a few reviews that aren't really reviews because it's so personal that they don't want to review it. And I didn't necessarily review it, I gave it stars because I thought it was fantastic, and I think it was very brave of her to put her life out like that. And I gave her 5 stars, and it's not that I saw anything wrong with it because I didn't. I did read this one review where the person was pretty much like, it didn't rhyme, therefore it's not poetry, or something. It was something stupid like, just because you make breaks in your sentences doesn't make it poetry or something. And I'm like, she's an English major. I think she knows what she's doing. But it was really well done. It was really emotional. And while I didn't relate very much to her history, there are still things that I did relate to, and there's the last section of the book is very empowering for people. And it was more of like, you know, you may feel this way, but it's not like that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be different. You're going to be fine. You know, you are strong enough without needing somebody else, or you are strong enough to live your dreams the way you want to do it, and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend that. Yeah. Okay, I think I covered all my August books. And this one was kind of more of like a quick review, because usually I'm just like, this is what I read, this is what I'm going to read, but I'm trying to kind of explain more of what I read, especially since not a lot of these have book talks. So let me know in the comments down below if that was okay, or if I bored the crap out of you and you just want to know what I read. Okay, now onto the TBR. Like I said, this is what I may be reading just based on how, like, what I'm currently craving to read, if that makes any sense. First one is My Lady Jane by a bunch of authors, so Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. I'm hesitant because of Jodi Meadows. I have read one Jodi Meadows book so far, and that was Incarnate, and I had so many problems with it. I'm not saying she's a terrible author because I haven't read any of her other stuff, but I'm worried that I may not like it because there were things about her writing style that bothered me. But I've heard this is funny, and it's gotten pretty good reactions to it so far. And it's a different spin on like historical fiction, and I don't read very much historical fiction. So, I'm thinking I'll take a crack at it. It's a huge book too, like what in the... Alright, next book is The Immortal Rules, which I have been talking about reading for months, and I still haven't read it, but because of reading the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd, I felt very vampire, and I almost read it when I finished, but then I wanted to read every vampire book that I own, and I just got The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black for my trip to Montana, and I've read that, not recently, but I read it last year. So I could read it again, and I was like, if I'm going to do a vampire month, it needs to be a month. If I'm going to read all of my vampire books, it needs to be a vampire book month, and I need to include other people into it. So maybe that will be something happening in 2017, since I don't know if I'm gonna have the time, because in October I'm going to be reading every horror story I have, or every kind of darker story that I have that I haven't read yet. I may read The Coldest Girl in Cold Town then, but I don't think I will, because for the vampire read-along or whatever that I'll be doing, I'm not going to reread these just because I've read them so recently. I used to be able to read them once a year, but I have so many books to get through now, that's not going to happen. But anyway, I may be reading this, I may put it off so I could have a vampire month sometime next year, and it won't be too soon. But this is kind of what I've been feeling lately, so I may be reading it. Then there's Splintered by A.G. Howard, which I got from my cousin for my birthday. And it's an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I told her I would be reading it soon. I still haven't gotten to it yet because I just haven't felt very fairy tale retelling, and especially Alice. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Through the Looking Glass, I went to go see it this year, and maybe that was my fill of Alice for the year, I don't know, but I feel like you don't get your fill of Alice. That's not the kind of thing that you can have your fill of. The writing is purple. It's kind of cool and different. And I know I've heard these are good. They're like everywhere. So I may be reading this. Then I have a couple series that I may be rereading for a couple reasons. One, because I haven't read them in a long enough period of time, and the last one came out this year and I have yet to read it. And I feel like I should read it so I can include it on my end of the year book top favorite things. So that's the Raven Boys series. I have read these. Raven King got released this year, and I've put off reading it so I could kind of let myself forget what happens in these, so I can read them all and do it. Yeah, because I need to read it. I've seen so many things based on the end of the series, and it needs to get done. The last two books that I might be reading in September is the Red Queen books I have, so reread of Red Queen and read of Glass Sword that came out this year that I still haven't read. Although I'm not sure on that because I'm pretty sure the next book in the series, The Bone King, I believe. I know it's got bones on the crown, like the crown is made out of bones and has blood dripping down because that's the motif for it. But I may put it off until that comes out and then read them. I'm kind of a pain in the butt when it comes to sequels because I like to, if I have read the series within a couple months of the book being released, I put it off so I can reread the series together, because I am not the kind of person that can just pick up the sequel and remember everything that happened in the previous books. I have to reread them. Otherwise I get lost. I've tried it a couple times and I get lost. I'm like, wait, that happened? Hold on, I have to go back and read the other ones. So, excuse me. Yeah, so that was a longer video. I apologize. It was a lot of ranting. I have been up since 7 this morning because of school, and I'm not used to being up so early. And, so maybe that's why I'm ranting. It's because I'm kind of tired. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will be back with 2, possibly 3 other videos if I decide to do the book talk today, or if I'm going to put it off for P.S. I Like You. And so look forward to that. I will see you then. Thank you so much for watching. It always means so much to me, even though there aren't a whole ton of you. That's okay. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm not trying to be YouTube famous because I feel like, you know, just because there are people that are famous for YouTube doesn't mean it's something I need to be. And I do this for fun. The only reason I want more followers is so people can give me suggestions on what to do and what you guys want to see, because I want to make it fun for you. And I don't always know what you guys want to see. I know you guys probably want like recommendations. Tell me what you want me to recommend. Issue with it though. If you want something recommended, it needs to be a very broad genre and not a very specific. Because I got a specific one that was, it was historical fiction. Oh, it was historical fiction romance or something like that. And I was like, I have read maybe 2 or 3 historical fiction series books in my life that weren't school related, that I didn't tune out most of it. And very few of those were romance. So until I have more of those under my belt, I can't help you very well. But if you want like science fiction or dystopian or high fantasy or paranormal fantasy, which is still kind of urban fantasy in a way. But because in middle school and high school, I was all about the paranormal fantasy. I read the Darkest Powers series. I read Chronicles of Vladimir Todd. I read Paranormalcy by Kristen White, which is over there on my other shelf. I read quite a few because it was my jam. But now It's kind of a bunch of everything, so I have more. If you want fairy tale recommendations, let me know. Just let me know. Talk to me. I do this almost at the end of almost every video because I want you guys to talk to me, and you almost never do. Maybe I should put it in the beginning of a video or make like a whole separate video. Just want you guys to talk to me. That's all I care about. I want to make this entertaining for you. Tell me how I can do that, and I can do that for you. But again, sorry for the ranting. I love you guys. It always means so much to me when you guys watch my videos. I don't care if you thumbs up or subscribe. Only do it if you really liked it. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you don't, because, you know, I'm not going to force you into watching my videos. That's not what I make them for. But I will see you guys in a bit with my next videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What did you read in the month of August? What was your favorite read? My favorite read, I think, is probably, which is really weird, but it's probably P.S. I Like You or The Princess Saves Herself in this one. Although this Savage song was excellent, so I don't know. But, what are you planning to read in September? Also, put that down below. And based on the books that I have shown you, or the books that I have shown in the past, if you've been watching my videos, let me know if there's a book on my TBR that I have yet to show you that I've read that you want me to read, and I will read it. Kind of like vote, not really, but like tell me what you want me to read, because half the time I'm like, I don't know what I want to read. I'll just read this one. So, yeah, I will see you guys. Happy reading!